comfortable? Are you ready for meditation? The position of the body, check it. So we are getting out of that delusion. How? By the knowledge and by the practice. How simple it is. So, position of the body, eyes are closed. How fast you can settle? How fast you can be comfortable? Why I said how fast? You are always comfortable in real self. You are always uncomfortable in the body. Think. The moment somewhere a slight identification with the body causes a great disaster in our life. And that also indicates that we are a seeker, or we are not a seeker. Are you still struggling with the body, breath, mind, position? What struggle means? That struggle is a demon. That is what we discussed in the story. What it does, blame, complaints. If I say that I am the body, then only I complain. That's a little deeper. So now, Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. We are giving a direction to the mind that is deluded by a mantra with the knowledge. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Let there be happiness for all. So, in the presence of delusion in the mind, we are asking the mind to understand that the happiness is our essential nature. You can seek that happiness within, and which is the essential nature of every living species. That is why we all are seeking happiness in our life. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Let there be peace for all. Are you looking for peace? Do you have an extreme sense of incompleteness in you? And there comes the mantra, says, no, peace is already within you. What you are searching outside, that will create the 4 root weaknesses in your life. Just see. So you are reflecting on it with the mantra, and mind starts settling down. It drops the binding desire. What is unbinding desire? Desire for happiness within me. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Now see that what he says. May there be completeness in all. And what is the cause? What is delusion? A sense, a feeling, a thought, an action, an idea of extreme incompleteness at thinking, at speaking, at acting level. Now you see another dimension of this mantra. So when it says that may there be completeness in all, I have to analyze, observe, reflect. God. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. What happens then? When that extreme sense of incompleteness which is delusion caused by the identification of the body, identification with the body superimposes on the real self, causes the suffering, is gone. then what is that moment? That moment is auspicious. So every moment is auspicious moment, minus delusion in our life. I believe you are getting it. Those who have been attending it regularly, that is what it is. So recheck you are settled in comfort behind and beyond the current state of the mind. We means what? I'm using different phrases to help your mind digest and assimilate. What I used to say that you're looking at the body, yes, physical awareness. Then I said, move the mind within and experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. That is another stage of rise in awareness, is moving the mind within. Move the mind further deeper within, you find the space. Space is awareness, and awareness is space. And in that space, or awareness of the space, we find now at a subtler level, the lane one, we have lot of the thoughts are coming and going. I can tell you, if you are not consciously thinking in the direction of the self-discovery, if you are not, the rest of the thoughts comes from the delusion. Give me any thought. That ignorance has such a great influence on our daily living. So that is why I said lane one unwanted, or they are unwanted, unwelcome. Whatever the thoughts, even it comes, they may seem to be a good thought. But if I consciously thinking, that becomes a thought pattern, is the lane two. I have to think, contemplate and reflect. So that very thinking becomes a product of knowledge, and that moves me into the lane three. That is what the calmness and the peace is. Understand, my friends? So we are carefree, and now is the time to start our purification. Mantra also purifies the mind. So you are looking deep inside the forehead, in the space, pick a point in the space and drop Om Shanti, pause, Om Shanti, pause. So we are one compartment of the mind is dropping the Om Shanti, and the second, consciously you start breathing consciously into the rib cage. Om Shanti continues, breathing continues, expansion and contraction of the rib cage continues. Continue. You are aware of expansion and contraction of the rib cage. You are aware of the sensation, comfort and steadiness of the body. You are aware of the Om Shanti you are dropping. You are aware of the point in the space. What is common? Awareness. Am I not aware of all the parts of the body? Yes, same way. And that takes time. Because of the delusion, it doesn't happen in a day. stop it, recognize, accept the changes and the experiences you are having at this time. Also recognize the resistance to the step in the practice. Also recognize a sense of forgetfulness of Om Shanti while breathing. There are many steps. Why we are doing it? We are uprooting that sense of incompleteness caused by the identification with the body. Declaring I am the body results into the delusion. Let us start with the second breathing, the belly breathing. Om Shanti continues. Remember the expansion and contraction of the belly. Now you are aware. You feel the breath into the belly. You take the breath out. That is a symbolic expression. You are not feeling the air into the belly. Some people will object to it. Look at this crazy guy, how he is guiding. No, it is a symbolic. You are still feeling the air into the lungs, but it is the lower lobes of the lungs expands the belly. That's a totally different thing that we will talk about it, why we do it. And Om Shanti continues. You are conscious of expansion of the belly during inhalation. You are continue. And stop it, recognize, accept the changes. Also recognize the resistance that you experience that comes from the mind. Deluded because of identification with the body. And experience the changes, vision, colors, calmness, freshness. Mind is absorbed deeper inside, all are good. Even cognition of resistance is good because I cognize now, I recognized. Looking inside, again deep inside the forehead, Om Shanti continues, body remains in the same state. Now start breathing long, deep in the hissing breath, both from the belly and the rib cage. Long, deep, and the hissing breath. Continue deep, long in the hissing breath, both from the belly and the rib cage. Om Shanti continues deep inside the forehead in the space. The body remains in that state of stillness. And now stop this. Do not think. When you do not think, you are aware of the body. So body means what? Sensation, relaxation and stillness. Sensation may be of any type, it doesn't matter. Check that. Sensation, relaxation and stillness. How deeply you are relaxed helps you to de-identify with the body. That is why we want this step, my friends. De-identification takes place in deep sleep. Now, as I usually say, look inside the body means rise in awareness. So first we experience the sensation all over the body. It is a rise in consciousness, a conscious sensation. It is the state of the calmness. So what happens in the state of the calmness, my friends? We go too far from the thoughts that identifies with the body. So maybe at a subtler level, at present we do not appreciate, but at a subtler level we are de-identifying. And the space inside the body is quietness, quietude. In quietness we go too far from the thoughts pertaining to the body and the world. It is the same thing. Just check it. Do you have that conscious awareness or experience, if I say so? Where you see that the mind is not ready to pick up any thought that is too far to be identified. They are there, they will remain present. If they do not represent, they are not present, then we are dead. Then we are unconscious. Yes, they are too far. They are too far that gives a sense of quietness. When we have that state of the mind, the next step of the triangle works deeply. So in that state, you are looking inside the cave of your heart. Visualize the triangle in any color, equilateral triangle pointing upward. And again, I divided it into parts, for the sake of understanding. Awareness of the side of a triangle, awareness of dropping Om Shanti, and moving the mind on the side in the state of sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Moving the mind with Om Shanti on the sides of a triangle, clockwise, anti-clockwise, and check. You sync. What do you mean by the sync? Whenever you say Om Shanti, mind moves on one side. Om begins at one corner of the side, ends with the Shanti. There's a perfect sync. So that is another moment in our rise in awareness. Maybe later we need not to do anything with the triangle. We are discovering, means what? Mind can live into that state. It is there inside. And once you find there is a kind of a sync, you move, now you push the mind. I reverse the position. Singing Om is pushing the mind deeper inside the cave of heart. Mind seemingly stops. When you see seemingly stops, you drop Shanti. And then do nothing. So you are recognizing that the deeper and the higher states of the mind can naturally live in that state seemingly as if it has stopped. So that conscious cognition is silence. I added another dimension in the journey, and that is very subtle. How do I recognize the subtle when my mind is subtle? And now leave this tab, go to the japa. You already know. But only difference, mind's eye looks at the segment of the index finger, mind's skin touch that, mind's ear listens, mind's tongue speaks. So all the senses remain in the mind. Dropping on Shanti, it instantly triggers variety of sensations. What are these sensations? The movement of the prana, the life force. So what happens? That the mind and the prana merge together. They still remember, I think everyone must be remembering, desire is the impurity of prana in the mind. So what we are doing with the prana? We are saying to come with the mind that is at present pure. And that prana is liberated from the identification of the body, rises up. Up means rise in consciousness. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences. If you have any question, obviously you are free to ask. How are you, Stephen?
Good, thank you. I struggled with the body and getting comfortable in the beginning, but as soon as you started the first verse of the Sarvesham again, it was as if a light switch just shut off, and I all forgotten about it. I just went into this very dark space. Recalled not um, starting the fast breathing right away. But on the opposite side of that, the long, extended hissing breathing I sustained through the remainder of the meditation, while still being cognizant of the triangle, the japa, and everything along the way. And then I was like, oh, wow, I'm still actually hissing here. So that was it. It was just very, very calm and settled right now.
Beautiful. You are revealing one secret that needs to be clearly understood, perhaps you might have overlooked. What he said the moment he started the mantra, that uncomfortable state dissolved. What it means? The knowledge alone can remove the ignorance. We are relying more on the active steps like breathing, like stretching. Mind has to take over the body. Body should not dominate over the mind. Are you getting it? So that knowledge means that just in a moment of that awareness, the moment that knowledge says, I am not the body. How? By the mantra or by just an awareness. So that state signifies that I am a seeker, and that is one reason that he continued doing the third breathing without noticing, without any objection of the mind. That needs to be understood. Beautiful. Stephen, how are you, Dennis?
I'm fine, Guruji, thank you. The meditation was almond. Quite as usual. One peculiar thing that I noticed today, that after the breathing, the space was all colored blue for some reason. That never happened before. Yeah, the rest of the meditation on top of it went as usual. Nothing to add.
Yes, we will understand that. We will understand. I have just created these, what you say, not I have created, it's all teachings of the masters. Whenever I say I word, you replace it with the masters. Need not. So what happens, there's a journey of the mind starting from being comfortable, then being carefree, then sensation, relaxation and stillness, then calmness and quietness, then peace. So when that state of the peace is recognized by the mind, you have a very deep blue color. Now I will talk about these colors in the visions. So we have to still go deeper. Beautiful way to narrate, Dennis. And how are you, Brandy?
Good morning, I'm fine, thank you. I came into the meditation with a lot of identification with the name and the form, so your lesson and the meditation were really useful in bringing me back.
Bringing you back, very good. Now we know what identification, that we talked yesterday. So need not to, that's really good. If you drop the identification, that is better. How are you, Terry? You are not the body.
Consciously follow.
Yes.
All the
yeah.
And and I achieve. I momentarily achieve the liberation.
Good.
And thank you.
Don't we speak too much here. Now I have to, that we will cover in Gita as we are approaching to this. You see that this body is carbohydrate, protein. This is a matter. Understand it clear. This is a matter. But how come it is moving? Who gives the force? Who gives the power to this matter to move? Think of it. Who gives the power to move? So that we are, so what I want to convey to you guys, that guys in India means cows. so so we have to explore this complexity, this matter, how this matter, my finger is moving, lips are moving, larynx is moving, and coming out it is acting. So consciousness enlivens in the body. It does not mean if it does not enliven the body, we are not the real self. So how I'm relating it to what the state of the Terry, because of her problem, because she is not able to express. It does not mean she does not know what has happened to her. So that real self, that calmness, that peace is still there. That needs to be understood. We will talk. How are you, Barbara?
Working?
Yeah.
Working now?
Yeah.
Okay. It was a beautiful meditation for me. During the meditation, it seemed like everything had stopped. I didn't feel my body. I didn't have any thoughts.
Yeah.
And I was completely at peace.
Beautiful. When my mind says I don't have the body, it does not mean the body will go anywhere. That indicates, the sense of bodilessness. So the more we experience the sense of bodilessness, or we experience the same blueness, or we experience through the knowledge that sense of uncomfort dissolves, they all remove our delusion. What is the delusion? This 150 pounds of the body rules the world. We don't know what is the weight of this earth. And yes, Sangeeta, how are you?
सर बहुत मुश्किल था सर। आज शुरू में थोड़ा लेन वन में जा रहा था मन, पर अपने आप ही लेन टू लेन थ्री में।
लेन 3 में, हाँ। लेन 1 में ज़्यादा जा रहा है क्योंकि पैसे ज़्यादा आ गए इसलिए?
नहीं सर, मेरे पास कुछ नहीं है। मेरे पास कोई पैसे नहीं है।
Her mind is jumping to the lane 1 again and again. In the end, she succeeded. So think of it. The next topic will be, you have to just contemplate and reflect. We will directly talk about the delusion. How come this delusion enters in our life and causes the problem? This is again teaching from the Narada. And what happens when the delusion enters? All grief, all suffering in our life, directly, indirectly, consciously, unconsciously, habitually, instinctively, impulsively, they enter into life. That is all for today. We'll talk about, we'll meet again next week.